All right, y'all. So we got Stephen A. He done been on a couple podcasts. This particular one is 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. That's the podcast we know, which features Carmelo Anthony. That's his podcast. So this was rather interesting, and this is why I picked this one, because we know that Carmelo Anthony is part of the Banana Boat Boys. That would be what? Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul. Yeah, y'all know the infamous Banana Boys pick, man. They the gang. They all close friends, right? Shit, even LeBron saved Carmelo Anthony's life one time from drowning, falling off the damn banana boat. That's why they the Banana Boat Boys. That's another story for another day. But I thought it was interesting that basically, I thought that Skip Bayless used to be LeBron's arch nemesis, but it quickly became, over the years, Stephen A. Smith. So Stephen A. Smith is going to address the whole last year LeBron getting in his face at the Laker game, saying, you know, keep my son's name out your mouth. And he's going to give his perspective of the situation.
LeBron, I don't like his, not a little bit. You do not understand the lengths this man would go to. This dates back more than a decade. I believe he's one way publicly, he's another way privately. You know, he might not be interviewed and he might not be quoted, but the things he says and the things he has said to people, it's gotten back to me. The things that he's tried to do, if it were up to him, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Now, I've heard certain things like that before too. I've heard that LeBron does certain things, like most people, like the Jay-Z's, like the Drakes. We've seen people that have power, that have money, that have the reputation. They flex it when it's time to do it. And I'm not surprised about hearing this. And then, you know, LeBron comes off as the squeaky clean, non-hater type of person that would never do nothing like that. But we all know in this industry, bro, once it consumes you, you might not come in thinking like that, but ain't no telling what it can turn you into. And I'm not saying that LeBron is guilty of those things. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if that's really the case.
It's some low. The day that he rolled up on me courtside, it was the day my contract was announced, that I had stayed with ESPN. Go back and look at the camera angles. I arrived there in the first quarter. He rolled up on me in the third quarter. This is 2025. We got technology everywhere. TNT is a nationally televised game. How is it we got one angle and the only angle you see was of him and his face, but you see the back of my peanut head? I know this, but I know a thing or two about camera angles. I determine them half the time.
Yep.
Do this angle, do that angle. This is my business.
I ask you straight up, do you think you felt set up in that moment?
Damn right I did.
You thought he had somebody out there?
Damn right that did.
Okay.
Damn right. That's how I feel.
Okay.
But no big deal.
Damn. So he feels like even LeBron strategically did this. So what he would be saying is that he must have knew prior that Stephen A. Smith was going to be at the game? Or once he saw Stephen A. Smith, he put the plan in motion? And he's like, hey, do it from this angle. We going to do this. We going to do that. Listen, maybe I'm not keen to industry tricks and you know, things of that nature. It just seems kind of like, damn. So while this man's playing a basketball game, he's willing to go this far deep and beyond to go at a analyst? I don't know about that one, man. That seems a little bit far-fetched in my opinion.
No problem. Because I go on the air the next day and I'm like, that's a dad reacting to his son. Happens on a Thursday, that's a Friday, that's Saturday. Richard Jefferson is doing the game in Boston. He's still mic'd. He's working for ESPN. And we see LeBron say to him, yo, man, when he said, as a father, I had it. So I'm thinking, oh, that's not about Bronny. That's about you. Oh.
So he's saying also that LeBron strategically went over there and talked to Richard Jefferson while Richard Jefferson had his microphone on and explained his side of the story. Possible. That's a little bit more possible than what I think the other situation is, like using ESPN cameras and all that. I don't know about that one. But I still don't really think that LeBron was just moving like that. And that's why I could be wrong. Stephen A. Smith knows how things work better than me. It just doesn't really, it seems like a friend-to-friend conversation, in my personal opinion. Richard Jefferson is on the mic. I'm not sure if he controls if the mic is on or not, but hey.
Okay, let's talk about you as a father from this perspective. Oh, he ends up getting drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers. Congratulations, no problem. Oh, he ends up being there opening night. That father-son moment with Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr. in attendance. I was there at the game, standing up clapping, no problem. It became a problem when this brother was in the G League, and then the next day, J.J. Redick decides to bring him in the first quarter and ask him to guard Tyrese Maxey. If you could literally feel or see somebody drooling at the mouth, give me the ball. That was Tyrese Maxey. It was a nightmare. And I'm like, you can't do that to him. But you also can't do that to us. We're the media. Now you asking us not to cover the game. The last straw was not him rolling up on me on courtside. If you sat up there and said, yo, LeBron pissed off, he needs to talk to you man to man, and I was in New York, what would I do? I'd be on the next plane to LA. And then you gonna turn around and come on ESPN with Pat McAfee? You gonna come on my channel on a show that comes on after me just to dog me? Nah. And what you dogging me about? Be a man. Yo, I don't like him either. Cool. Nah, I have to protect my family. That's the narrative you playing? Yo.
I do agree with Stephen A. on that one. If it was really an issue, right? Because he's saying that you're basically asking him not to do his job when y'all are doing things that require him to do his job. You put your son in the position of being in the NBA, probably when he shouldn't have been there. Wasn't really ready yet. Okay, you put him in there. Not even in the G League where he could just play and not be covered like that. You threw him in the gauntlet against Tyrese Maxey and he got destroyed. But then you feel a type of way when Stephen A. Smith has to report about this, where he says, LeBron, don't do this to your son. You put your son in the fire, it's embarrassing. He wasn't ready. Essentially, that's what he was saying. Maybe he said some things wrong that LeBron took as a personal attack. But I feel like as two black men in this industry, y'all should have sat down and talked about it. So I do agree with Stephen A. Smith in that aspect. But I also do understand that if LeBron feels like you were talking ill about my child, then it's no talking. But I think LeBron, which maybe now has learned, in the eyes of the NBA, he may be your son, but he's a grown man that is vulnerable to being talked about when it comes to basketball. When it comes to how he plays, the position he was put in, all that's fair game, and you know that. And I think you're trying to protect your son from the scrutiny that you've had to endure being the chosen one, but it don't work like that no more.
Bro, when I tell y'all, you can't measure the level of how pissed off I have been over that. There is no level of disrespect that has ever been accorded to me in my life more so than what he did. To try to paint me as somebody who would attack somebody's family, knowing I've never done it, I can't tell you how offensive I find that.
Shout out to 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. Shout out to Carmelo Anthony. Link down below for the full watch. And let me say this, man. Stephen A. Smith, you can't walk around just harboring those feelings, because I seen you did 2 podcasts talking about this. I don't know who else you're going to, but enough is enough. We get it. We completely understand it. It's time to let it go, man. It's time to let it go. Whether he was right or was wrong, it seems like y'all are 2 men that aren't going to come to terms with this situation. And I get it. Stephen A. Smith is the type of person where he's going to use it as content. Every time that you say something, every time that I'm asked about it, I'm going to speak on it. Every time that you come for me, I'm coming back. Hey, man, At what point do we let this go? That's just my personal opinion. I understand both sides, and I think that this situation, maybe before LeBron got in his face, definitely could have been talked about. I'm not sure now. I understand. So y'all let me know how y'all feel, man. Do y'all think that LeBron was wrong? Do y'all think Stephen A was wrong? Collectively, both of them was wrong? Y'all let me know. Like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell. We out, baby. Boom.
Just LaFleur.
It's him.